Hello, everybody, and welcome back to First Drink Daily, where I am healthy and Paul's bleeding from the ear.
Yep.
We're not even kidding. Paul also missed a trash can while standing right next to it.
It's true.
Paul also made many good decisions last night. Shall we talk about them?
No, okay. I think we need to move on before I uke all over the place.
There was a point in time where I left last night, which was the optimal time to leave.
And then there was the time like an hour and a half later when I finally stumbled out of the bar like a fucking idiot.
And Paul, what companion was sitting in your bed that was full of hydrogen and oxygen? Maybe two.
Okay, so really we're gonna have to tell this story?
I think it's appropriate because I really just want to drive home the fact that you made poor decisions last night.
So I tried to drink water last night, and at some point, they have actual glasses in the room, like they're nice glasses. So I filled one up with water, I drank some, and then I fell asleep. And then this morning I woke up and I was laying there in the bed and I was kind of regarding my bad decisions. And then I was like, oh, geez. I'm like, I have a glass of water here somewhere. And I reached out with my hand in the dark and I felt the glass and it was upright and had water in it. And I'm like, nice. And then I knocked it over and it spilled it all over the bed. So somehow that glass of water sat upright on the bed for some amount of time.
Yeah.
Next to me.
I believe that's called being in a coma, is what you were in
really
last night.
impressive. I mean,
it really is.
I couldn't have done that if I had tried to do that. Really? If I had tried to do that, I would never have been able to do it.
Yep. But so there's been a lot going on this week and not a lot going on at the same time, but we're getting a lot of Surface action, if you will.
Yep.
Microsoft announced the Surface Hub. If that's news to you and you're like, oh my God, they announced it, go watch yesterday's show because that one is more about that. But this morning, Mark Gurman, who is treading outside of his territory, and I might have to fight him. No, just kidding. And Dina Bass broke the news that Microsoft in the second half of 2018 is going to be launching a $400-ish Surface device.
Right.
Obviously low end. And Paul, the first thing I thought of when I saw this, they said 10-inch is, I mean, this is the Surface 3.
Right.
I mean, same size, not obviously. It's got to be the successor to that. What's your hot take?
That's right. Yeah. So they had a surprising number of details about the device. It's Intel based, 64 and 128 gigs of storage, USB for power, which don't get too excited on that yet. There's no mention of Thunderbolt 3, and remember that Surface 3 actually used micro USB for power, so it was the one Surface device that didn't use the Surface Connect connection. So that may not mean we're all heading to Thunderbolt 3, but, you know, whatever. Interesting. Like you said, 10-inch-ish screen, which is smaller than the current Surface Pro, which is, I think, a 12.3 or 12.5-inch screen. And then the price, $400. So there's a lot of speculation, you know, where are they going with this thing? Are they going after the iPad? Are they going after Chromebooks? And I think the answer might be both. I think this is aimed at the education market, because if you look at Surface Pro today, and they've done some things to cost reduce it, I think the cheapest you can get into that device with a keyboard, which, you know, is a requirement, is still pretty close to $1,000. It's probably pretty close to $1,000.
Yeah.
And that's just too much for education. So a lot of people are wondering, you know, what the point is, and maybe this doesn't make sense. I think they need to compete in this market. I think they need to have a device for the education market. The other question, and I'm curious what you think about this, is why wouldn't this be a Qualcomm device?
Right. That's the big...
Yeah.
To be honest, that's the thing that doesn't make sense out of this to me. The price point looks amazing. If they can get a sub $400 or even close to $400 Surface tablet, that'll be great. And as long as it's not neutered with a bad chip inside, because one of the things I think that hurt the Surface 3 really bad was the Atom chip.
That was terrible.
And so hopefully they can get something like a Core i3 in there.
Yeah.
But this seems perfect for an ARM-based device, and I don't know why they wouldn't do this, because you would want cellular connectivity, and it all just comes in a nice, neat ARM package.
Oh, so I should say, cellular connectivity will be an option.
Okay.
They did mention that. The other thing, you know, just with the timing, they were saying at the earliest by late second half of 2018. You know, by that time, we should have a next-generation Qualcomm chip to use in computers. Next version of Windows 10, I would imagine, is aimed around that time frame. it just seems like they're going to be able to further optimize the system for performance. By then, that's one of the big drawbacks of the Windows 10 on ARM stuff today.
You're right.
So yeah, who knows? Maybe there'll be a version of each, Intel and Qualcomm, but they didn't say that. So
yeah, I'd also have to think too that Intel is probably extremely nervous right now that lower end market is going to be eaten up by Qualcomm.
Yep.
And so I very much could see Intel going to Microsoft and be like, look, let's build this device. We'll get you a better chip, a better price point if you use our product. And so Microsoft and Intel have a pretty good relationship. A little tension over the Skylake stuff, but they typically work pretty well together, and I could see them doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what else have you written or done today? I haven't checked the site. I've been quite busy.
I mean, that was the big thing.
Right.
Amazon is now offering, or will soon be offering, a 10% discount on all purchases to Prime members. That's actually very interesting. It's kind of in the theme of their ability to offer really unique perks to Prime members. That
10% off everywhere, or
at Whole Foods.
Oh, at Whole Foods.
Sorry if I didn't say that. I'm a little out of it. I don't know if that came up.
Yeah, maybe if you had some water.
What was the other one? I don't know. I'm out to lunch, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Paul Thurrott at his best.
I literally walked up to a trash barrel, tossed the thing inside, and it bounced off the outside of the floor, and this guy walking by just started laughing at me.
As we do.
And I'm like, I've played sports. Come back. I can get it the second time.
It's a razzling dazzling show here in Chicago, which will be here for probably about another, I'd say 24 hours, give or take, maybe 26 hours.
Sure.
But we had a good meetup last night. Thanks to everybody who made the journey out.
That was nice, actually.
It was.
It would have been nice if I, had left at a reasonable time, as you mentioned.
Yep.
I wanted to let the good times roll.
And roll they did. They're over you like a steamroller or behind us while we're recording.
Yep.
So, you got anything else for today, Paul?
I have no idea. How about you?
I'm feeling spunk and chipper, and we will wrap it up here, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back. We should be back tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely be back on Friday, no doubt, with First Ring Daily. And have yourselves a wonderful day.